Good afternoon. Good afternoon, all. Today our session is on Julia strings. Okay. So here the Julia strings is we can create it as a characters and also we can create it as a strings. Okay. So Julia takes the strings in the form of a single quote enclosed, and whenever we want to take a type of the particular variable or type of a string, so we can use type of ANS, that is a variable which we are providing, so that it shows the type of that variable. And if you want to get a particular conversion of a character, okay, then we can use a int as a conversion type. So int of the variable, the data, okay, then it converts it into the integer type. So, and we can also create the strings with the double quote enclosed. So where we can specify within the double quotes, the complete string can be specified, and we can also use the escape sequence characters in this. So where we can specify the escape sequence character as a part of a string. So, and it also allows us to create a multi-line sentence with the help of three quotations. Okay, we can enclose the string with the three quotations, then it will be creates it as the our multi-line sentence. And whenever we want to add any quotations within the part of a string, then we can use a slash and double quotes. And at the same time, similarly like arrays and tuples and others, similarly we can access the strings also with the index. So we can mention it as str of n minus 1, which takes the last character of that string, and n divided by 2, okay, which takes the ending index divided by the 2. So, and we can also extract the substring by specifying the starting index and ending index. And we can also take a substring with the help of a method, substring of the variable name and starting index and number of letters to be accessed or ending index. Similarly, we can also use the char function to convert a number into the character, or we can also find out the ASCII code of the character, the number. And we can also use the comparisons with the characters. Okay, that is, we can specify the capital letters and small letters comparisons, or the combination of comparisons also we can specify using a relational operators. And we can mention the concatenation of a strings is can be done with the help of a operator is a comma. So using this operator, we can concatenate the multiple strings. So here the output of this one, the string of a comma double quotes, comma double quotes. This is a comma is considered as a one part of one of a string, and b is a one string and a is a one string, which is separated by the comma symbol. And ending with dot and slash n, that is also added as a part of a string. So then we'll get the final output as hello is from the A, and the Julia programming language is from the B, and comma is added as a part of it. So next is the interpolation, where we can use the multiple variables can be used as a part of a string. So where we will specify it as A is a hello and B is a Julia programming language. So where we can specify the dollar symbol can be used to specify the variable name. So where we can include the variable value as a part of a string. So $A, it includes the A variable data, that is a hello, and B variable data is a Julia programming language. So it includes those two into the part of our output. And triple quoted strings. Okay, here the triple quoted strings is one purpose of it is to add the to display the multiple lines of a sentence, or we can also use wherever we want to display our quotations as a part of a string. Okay, then also we can use the triple quotations. And these are the some of the functions which are used with the strings. So find first, which finds the first occurrence of the zero letter in the given string, and find last, which gives the last occurrence of this letter, and find next, the next occurrence, that is whatever the first occurrence which is finded. Okay, after that we can go for the next occurrences using the find next. And find previous is to find out the previous occurrence of the specified character. And whenever we want to check whether the word is available within the string or not, we can use occurs in. So where it checks the given string, whether it is available within the given sentence or not. And repeat is used to repeat the particular string for number of times. So where we can specify the number of times to be repeated. And join is used for to add the two strings with a specific character or with a specific string. And is valid function is used to specify a string, whether it is a valid string or not. Okay, if it is a valid string, it will be show it as a true, otherwise it show it as a false. The given string is actually like data is a capital letters and /x ff/u. Okay, here the /x and the /u are actually not allowable characters. Okay, so that it is showing it as a valid is a false. So next is the regular expressions. So where we can specify the required format of expression and we can validate the string whether it is in that expression or not. Okay, the regular expressions starts with the R and will be specify the expression within the double quotes. Okay. The starting of expression is with the cap, like cap operator, and ending of expression with the dollar symbol. Okay. /s is the string. Asterisk denotes that the multiple types the string can be available. And opening brackets and question mark, colon, hash. So these are the symbols which can be available within that. And or symbol or operator, and ending with the expression is a dollar symbol and closing brackets. Okay. So whenever these characters are available, then the type of that variable becomes a regular expression. So, and here we are checking that whether this format of expression is available within this or not. Then it is showing it as a false. Okay. And here it is, we are checking that whether this expression is available within this. Okay, here it is a hash. Here hash followed by the part of a string. So then it shows that this string is in the given format. Is it true? And this is the functions. So where we can define the functions within the Julia language. So where we can specify the one-line functions as anonymous functions, or we can specify the multi-line function with the function keyword. Okay, here we have the f of a is equals to a into a. Here we are creating a one function. So as an anonymous function, okay, this is not specified with a particular name. So, but it has a one parameter is a. So where the parameter is substituted within the expression a into a. So whenever we are calling that function, we can set it as f of the required value. Then it creates executes the function and displays the value. So otherwise, we can also specify the multiple arguments with the func keyword, and we can send our arguments. And optional arguments within the functions for Julia languages, where we can specify the required parameters to be assigned with a value. Okay, so that whenever we are calling this function, you can use only the two variables or three variables. Okay, this also we can call it as two types of methods will be created for this. So whenever we are executing this, whenever we are compiling it, it shows a message as the function POS is created with the two methods. Actually, for the normal functions, it shows it as one method is created. But whenever we are specifying optional arguments, then it shows the generic function is created with the two methods. Okay, why? Because we can use this function in the two ways. Okay, one is with the three arguments and one is with the two arguments. Okay. So, and we can also pass the different types of values for a function. So, or we can also use the sum of arguments as the keyword arguments and some arguments as the non-keyword arguments. Okay, here the A and B are the non-keyword arguments and C and D are the keyword arguments. And at the same time, we are specifying the values for the C and D. Okay, so that if we are sending up parameters, okay, then it uses that parameters. Otherwise, it uses the C as the 10 and D as the high. So here, these are the anonymous functions where we can use within the list comprehensions and map functions. Okay, within that, we can use the anonymous functions. So without specifying a name of a function, we can create the function So the function will be created and destroyed in the same line itself. Okay. So here in the map function, we are specifying it as a, that implies to the expression of a power 3 plus 3a minus 3. Okay, this will be created as a function. So wherever we are sending a values, the second parameter is the our values 10, 3 and minus 2. So once it sends a 10 as the value for the a, and another time it sends a 3 as the value for the a, and another time it sends a minus 2 as the value for the a. And here it is a recursive functions. So where we are specifying that function add of x, y equals to x into 2. And there is a one more function we are calling in, we are creating in that is the add one. And in the same add function, we are calling the add one function for number of times. So every time it creates a function and it calls the function. So generally recursive function is nothing but calling a function itself. So that we can do in the same function, we will call that particular function. And filter or give filter function, this is generally used for whenever we want to filter the data. That is, I have a set of data, and on that data, I want to apply a function. Based on that function, it will filter the data. So here I can use it as filter of x mod 2 equals to 0 on the array. So whatever the values are there in the array, so it takes all that values, and one by one value will be passed to this condition. So if the condition is satisfied, then the values will be displayed as a output. And flow control statements. So here we have a one of the operator is a ternary operator we have in the Julia. First one is the condition, next one is the true statement, and next one is the false statement. And if and else statement. So where we can specify the condition in the if. So if the condition is true, then we can go for the print statement. Else if we can go for the, so another statement. So once the set of statements are done, then we can go for the, so end as a ternary for the if statements. And first statement, we can mention it as for the variable in the range of the values. The first one is the start values, last one is the end value. So middle one is the step value. And within the Julia, we have one of the benefit is we have a keyword is a global keyword, which will be used to access the global variables which are created in that particular session. And we can also declare a variable within the loop. And if I want to defer the variable which is declared within the loop and outside the loop, then also I can prefer the global keyword. And we can also nested the statements with the loop statements with the if conditions and others. And we also have the continue statement within the Julia. So where we can specify the continue to the next iteration of the our control statements, iterative statements. And comprehensions we can create with so using a for loops, we can create a comprehensions. So where we will specify the expression and for loop. So for loop takes the data from the one range of our values, and those values will be applied with the our expression. And GIF function is generally used to combine the multiple lists or multiple range of values. So here we can combine the 0 to 10 values as a one particular set of values, and 100 to 110 and 200 to 210. Okay, these all will be considered as the 10 different tuples will be created. Okay, it takes a one value from the first range and one value from the second range and one value from the third range. Okay, with that three values, it creates a one tuple. And similarly, it takes the second values from the three ranges and third values from the three ranges. Okay. And while statements is here we will be created as a while the condition of a statement, and then we can specify the required statements. And so global n plus 1 equals to n plus equals to 1 is we are considering the n as a global variable. Okay, so that whatever the value which is initialized to n in the global context, okay, with that value it will be as the 1. So this is for today's session. So we end the today's class by this. So we covered with the strings and control statements. Okay, thank you.